Once we know our focus, once we know our standards, the skills and or concepts within those standards that we're going to focus on for the next learning cycle, we can ask ourselves three additional things. And that is the diagnostic measures that we need. What are we going to model as a team, and what kind of independent practice are our students going to have? The first thing is the diagnostic tool. What should we use to measure where students are to begin this learning cycle? Now, one question to ask is there recent work product or some performance data that we already have that we can use to serve as a diagnostic? You know, when you're moving through a school year and you're planning formative and summative measures, you can use the most recent product from your instruction to inform next steps in the learning progression. This reduces the need for additional diagnostic assessments while providing the same and more valuable, in fact, information. Now, why do I need to decide on what we're going to model? Is everybody going to do the same thing in the classroom? This isn't saying that everyone has to teach exactly the same. But if you decide on certain key things to model, what you're going to get is an agreement on specific learning behaviors that every student's going to experience. This gives you insight into the effectiveness of instructional practices. If you have teachers with special training, look at their results and practices, and then you can help you gauge needed targeted professional development for in the future. Modeling isn't so everybody has to do the same thing. It's so everyone and every student has similar experiences to gauge what's working and what's not in regard to instructional practice. Students need to show what they're learning, and therefore they need to have independent practice. Now, to decide as a team certain independent practice work product will give you an opportunity to get insightful information about instructional effectiveness, insightful information about what students are learning during that instructional period. Again, what you're looking for is consistency. So you want to decide what kind of modifications and support are we going to give students during particular independent practice that will provide us more consistent and reliable information about instruction and learning.